Hey everybody, it's Lori and I'm here with Eva today. And we decided we were going to do the Goodreads Book Tag, and that's why poor Charlotte is being left out because she is not yet old enough to have a Goodreads. So we're going to go ahead and do this one. We saw this, or I saw this. Did I show it to you?
No.
I don't remember anymore. It's hard to remember things. I saw Lacey at Turn the Page do this one, and it looked like a fun tag, so I decided to go ahead and do it. So, the first question is, what is the last book you marked as read? Last book that I marked as read was And Then They Were None by Agatha Christie.
My last book was Revolution is Not a Dinner Party by Ying-Chain Kompenstein? Kompenstein? Maybe?
I don't know, but it was a good book. Okay, the next question is, what are you currently reading? So, do you want to go to do you have any in your currently reading?
Yeah, I actually have two, but
okay.
don't know if I'm...
Why don't you find out what's in there?
Okay.
And then you can tell us what's in there and what doesn't belong in there anymore.
Okay. I have, in my currently reading, I have Manga Classics Great Expectations, and I am not reading that anymore. I just have not updated it.
But you finished it? You did
Yes,
read it?
I did finish it.
It needs to be moved.
Yeah. And then I have Fallout by Gwenda Bond, and I have not finished that one yet because I got distracted by Manga Classics. So,
easily distracted. Okay. So, my currently reading, I have a pile, and then there's a couple things that aren't in my pile. So, I am reading Our Lady of Cabejo by Immaculée Ilbegaza. I am reading, I don't know where to put these books when I'm done with them. Christianity for Modern Pagans by Peter Kreeft. I am reading The Awakening of Miss Prim by Natalia San Martin Filnolera. Sorry, I apologize for butchering. I am also reading The Benedict Option by Rod Dreher. So those are kind of like my nonfiction Catholic Lit Challenge type books that I'm going to set up here because I'm out of space.
except for The Awakening of Miss Prim. That's like...
Oh, yeah, I'm reading The Awakening of Miss Prim because I think it goes really well with the Benedict option. So that's why it's with those. So, yeah, reading them together. Video about that later. I am also reading Wicked Saints by Emily A. Duncan. This is the book that came in Charlotte's All Crate box, and she wanted me to pre-read it for her, so I am more than half done. I need to finish this, but so many books, so little time. And then I am also reading the third book of The Wheel of Time, The Dragon Reborn. I am like a disappointing 50 pages into this, so I've got a lot more to go in that one. And then besides those books, which were all sitting next to my chair, I am listening to All Things Wise and Wonderful by James Herriot. And Eva's listening to that one too, because that's our in the car audiobook at the moment. I'm also listening to Great Catholic Philosophers by Harry J. Gensler, S.J., Jesuit priest who teaches maybe at Loyola. I can't remember now. And then I also have the Catechism of the Catholic Church and the Bible, because I am continually reading those, so I didn't drag them in here. They're in a drawer next to my chair rather than in piles next to my chair, so I didn't notice them when I went to go get them. Okay. What was the last book you marked as TBR? The last book I marked as TBR, because I just checked a minute ago, was Inner Order, Outer Calm by Gretchen Rubin. I'm going to double check that title. Something about order and calm.
I have a lot of things I marked as read.
My most recently marked as TBR that I want to read is Outer Order, Inner Calm by Gretchen Rubin, which just came out, and she had a thing about it and Goodreads popped up, and so I marked it as to read.
My last to read I found while looking at readers like this. Readers who read this book also enjoyed this book. And it's called Torn Thread by Anne Isaacs. And yeah, it's about the Holocaust. And what kind of drew me in more was that it has a girl named Eva in it, so. But I haven't been able to find it at the library yet, so I'll need to look more.
It is hard when you live rurally. You don't always have everything you might want. Okay. What do you plan to read next? Maybe the question for Eva should be, what have you started reading that you haven't put into Goodreads yet?
Nah. Oh, well, I started reading Pride and Prejudice, and I also started reading manga Pride and Prejudice.
Did you mean Jane Eyre?
Oh, yeah, Jane Eyre. Okay, starting over. Not Pride and Prejudice, Jane Eyre. Okay. Well, I started reading Jane Eyre and the manga version of Jane Eyre, and
Anything else?
no, not that I can think of.
It's hard to keep track sometimes. What I plan to read next is The Big Green Tent by Lyudmila Ultiskaya. That's my best attempt. This is a Russian novel that I am going to be reading alongside a group that Olive from A Book Olive is running on Goodreads. So that's another question, but we'll get to that one in a minute. Are you doing the 2019 Goodreads challenge?
Yes, but wait a sec, I lost it. Yeah, I am doing the Goodreads challenge, but I only have it set for 36 books. So I'm 47% of the way done for the year. But I don't know if I'll raise it or not. There's a lot of the year left.
You can also just exceed your goal, too.
Yeah, that's always nice.
So I, too, am doing the Goodreads challenge, as I have done every year since 2015. And this year I upped my goal. I've always had a goal of about 95 books. And this year I really wanted to read 104, 2 books a week. And so far, I've read 51 out of my 104. So I'm 49% of my way to my goal. So I figure by the end of the week, I should be at the 50% of the way mark. And that's not too bad for it just being the very beginning of March. May. Very beginning of May. I don't know what month it is. Do you have a wish list?
No, I did not know there were wish lists.
I don't know anything about a wish list either, unless it just means like clearly I have an Amazon wish list, so Goodreads is owned by Amazon, so maybe?
Oh, Goodreads
I have an
is owned by
Audible wish
Amazon.
list. Yeah, it's not out of the goodness of their heart. They're trying to get you to buy more books. But that's okay. I'm pretty easy to get to buy more books. What book do you plan on buying next?
I don't plan on buying books.
I don't really plan buying books. It just occurs sometimes. But if I did have to plan buying a book...
Ooh, I know. Starsight.
Yeah, it would be Starsight, the second of Brandon Sanderson's Skyward series. Because if I don't, I will have a very, very pouty Charlotte. Plus, we want to read it, so it'll get plenty of use. But I'm sure that I will buy books between now and then. I just don't know what they are. Do you have any favorite quotes?
I don't have any on Goodreads. Sometimes for like papers or something, I'll search quotes on Goodreads, but...
Yeah, I don't really save quotes on Goodreads as well. But I do sometimes look at quotes on Goodreads. And I do sometimes not necessarily get them off Goodreads, but if I do find a quote, I'm more likely to put it into my book journal than I am to put it on Goodreads, because that's just, technology is not my thing. Do you have any favorite authors?
Well, when I was younger, and I still think I'd like her, she has very interesting plots. Margaret Peterson Haddix. I used to read like all of the books I could get my hands on by her, more or less. I don't know if I think she might have some princess ones that I didn't read, but I don't know. Other than that, I'm sure I have other favorite authors. I just don't know who they are. And I read books by a lot of authors, not just one.
Yeah. I have a lot of favorite authors. So we could be here all week if I started listing them all, but I will list some of my like all-time favorites. So, I love Thomas Hardy. There has never been a Thomas Hardy book that I did not love. Um, so that's kind of maybe my favorite classics sort of author. Um, I have read pretty much all, maybe not quite, maybe just most of Gretchen Rubin's books. They're nonfiction. She writes a lot about happiness and, things like outer order, inner calm. So she's kind of self-helpy, but I enjoy her books. Christopher Stasheff is one of my favorite, like, no longer with us sci-fi writers. I mean, of course, there's like Tolkien, but there's some Tolkien that is just too much for me. So, like I have not managed the Silmarillion or anything like that. I do like Lois Lowry. I do like Suzanne Collins, The Hunger Games, and Gregor the Underlander, both great series. Cy Montgomery writes some nature books, and I've read several of those. I do want to read more of her. Oh, Leif Inger. How could I forget Leif Inger? I just finished reading all the Leif Inger books, and he needs to write some more. Catholic books. I should have some Catholic favorite authors. Oh, Frank Sheed. I like Frank Sheed for theology. Yeah, I really could be here all week. So I'll stop there.
I do like, I haven't read that many of his, but I do like some Dickens. I think he does very good jobs with storylines. It's just sometimes the words are hard to get past. Like we listened to Great Expectations, but I kind of lost track of anything that had happened, and I found it really boring. But then I read the manga version, like nice and condensed with pictures, and it was really, really interesting.
Okay, have you joined any Goodreads groups?
No.
I have. I haven't really been in a successful Goodreads group yet. I have been in a Facebook group for a number of years now. And at one point, that Facebook group started a Goodreads group, and then like just nothing ever happened in there. So I think maybe I'm still technically in there because it does say I'm in two groups. Let's see. Groups, two. Oh. Oh, apparently I must have left that group because I'm in another group that I forgot I was in called Thomas Jefferson Education, a book a week for the next year. And that was last active in 2015. So there's a reason I forgot I was in it. And then the other group I'm in that was last active 2 hours ago, which hopefully will be good, but we haven't started reading yet, is the Big Green Tent Readathon. Is that what it's called? The Big Green Read Along. Hashtag the Big Green Read Along. I'm not so good with hashtags. But anyway, so yeah, right now it has 78 members, so I'm looking forward to reading this one with them. And hopefully I can get through it before it's due back to the interlibrary loan library. So, okay. Anything else we need to add?
No.
Okay. Well, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed the Goodreads Book Tag. I tag anybody who wants to make a video talking all about Goodreads because I like hearing all about people's Goodreads. So, yeah. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed this, and we will see you in the next one. Thanks. Bye.
Bye.